Hello and welcome to this short tutorial about Alpha in Blender. This is brought to you by the Seal Studios, and this is a tree that is from Kosovo, the game that we're making at the moment. So, Alpha in Blender. In the beginning, when I started using Blender, this was something I thought was really hard to get my head around, so that's why I'm doing a little short tutorial about it for you other people out there not to have the same problem as me. So here we have this little tree and it has alpha. We can see through the leaves. For you who do not know what alpha is, it's basically a layer that tells the computer to see through. So the model actually looks like this. You can see it's just planes. And with alpha you can see it looks more like leaves. And it has holes in it, and there's basically two ways to get alpha in the game engine. Depending on what kind of game engine you use, you will either have the alpha channel baked into the texture, or you will have a separate alpha map. I think that's the most usual, and this is how an alpha map looks like, basically. And it's the black tells the computer that here's the part where you can see through. There's one more, a little bit older, key pre-multiplied, which is basically you have a color instead that tells the computer where the alpha is. It's not as usual anymore. And then we also have this version, which is basically that you have the alpha channel inside the same texture. Using DDS you can have this, and that's how we are doing it with Kosovo. So this is a working tree. So now I'm going to change scene here to a non-working tree, and you can see this looks like crap. And this is basically, in the beginning, this is probably how it's going to look. You're probably going to use the preview here to the left and choose your texture. And it will look something like this. And yeah, there's no alpha there, as you can see. Not very nice. So what we need to do is first go into the game engine. This is the easiest way. It's actually possible to give this part's alpha as well, but I don't know why it's so bothersome. You can choose every plane separately and give them alpha, and of course you can give them in forehand, but I should say, in my experience, this is the most easiest way. So you choose game over here, GLSL materials, which brings up the game engine of Blender, as you can see. And it's good because then you also get a feel of what it might look like in your game engine, because it's not it's rendered in OpenGL. And then when we got to this part, we need to load the texture like normal. Have the texture here, and just open it, nothing special. And then we go into the material button. We make sure it's has its little cross there so that it is chosen. We go into map input and make sure it's using the UV, and then we go into map 2, and here the normal case is coloring, and if we are using the alpha from the same picture, the same texture, like this one, it's a PNG, so it stores alpha component. We also press the alpha down map 2. But this is not going to bring up the alpha, and this might be a little bit confusing. And that is because we need to go up here, still a material button, down in material, and over the A we have alpha, full alpha it says. So we're just gonna take that away from the material and let the texture do the alpha instead, and this will be the result. So material, under the material, and then alpha 0, 0. And if it looks like this, that is because you have not clicked the alpha button, or because your entire picture is alpha. And like I said, the other way is to use a separate texture for alpha. So let's try that out as well. We have here, we have a new texture. Go into image, add new image. I'm actually going to use the same because it has alpha. And go back to material, map UV, map to not to color but to alpha, and we get the same basic premise. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful, and see you in the next tutorial, where we're going to talk about exporting from Blender to X and XNA.